A chance of showers, cloudy skies, highs in the mid 50s, and for the daytime hours in the Coachella Valley, and expect a slight chance of showers, blowing dust for the afternoon, sunny skies, highs upper 60s. I'm forecaster Jimmy O'Neill for Smart Talk 1490 KMET. Chance of showers, cloudy skies, highs in the 50s, the daytime hours.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez, and it's good to have you with us on today's show. And we've got lots of stuff to talk about. And if you're tuning in, let us know where you're tuning in from. I already see our chat room hitting it up over there in social media. Feel free to share our info. You can find us on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube Live, and of course KMET 1490 AM, the app. Don't forget Alexa. You always have Alexa with you. Some of you have Alexa in your vehicles. You could take us with you as well. Just say, Alexa, I want to listen to KMET 1490 AM, and you could take us anywhere and everywhere around the world, wherever you get the online version of what we've got to say. Now, I will say this. A lot of things going on around the world, and some people are making a lot about nothing. I'm not going to lie. And it almost seems like it's kind of culminating in other ways. And I will say, just as a preface, whatever you choose to decide for your children is your choice, right? That's your choice. Just like, I don't know, hopefully you'll choose safety for your choice for your children. But so far I've been seeing a lot of things kind of go back to the early 20s. Yeah, that's right, 2020. And I'm going, weren't we here before about face masks? Why are we making a big thing as though it's a brand new thing? It's been here a while. So I'm starting to see people kind of almost revert back to 2020, like, when people are like, I don't like my face mask. How dare you have my child wear a face mask? And I'm like, how dare you, like, not know coronavirus is still around? Like, that's what I say. So I say to the parents out there, if you are kind of bringing it as a big thing, and I've seen this, Jesse, as of late on the news. And do you remember when that happened, like early 2020, when everybody was up in arms about face masks, and they're like, it's all right not to wear a face mask, which it is. But I'm like, if you went into the hospital and they tell you to wear a face mask, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be that person saying, no, I don't want to wear a face mask. Like any infectious disease, it's a barrier. It's not a 100% proof. We've always said that. It's not 100% proof. And I remember some people showing the effectiveness or lack of effectiveness. Here's what I do say. Everybody has an opinion, but remember, it's not like coronavirus is unreal. So what do you think there, Jesse?
Oh, yes. Everyone complaining about the masks. Okay, so this is my thing. You don't have to wear the mask.
Yeah.
But if you go into a building or something else like that, you do not own that building. Their rules apply over yours. So put the mask on if they ask it. It's simple as that.
Yeah, and I'll say this. It's simple. It's simple. But some of the news broadcasts that I've seen where they're like interviewing parents, and the parents are like, my kid is coming home in crying because they're making them wear a face mask. I'm like, you know how worse they're going to cry when they're stuck in the hospital sick with coronavirus or any infectious disease? I just don't get that. And I always say this. There's always a balance. Okay, there's always a balance. The reality is none of the face masks are 100% proof, okay? There's some that if I like cough and spit gets into your eye, there's a chance maybe you might get, yeah, exactly. I know it sounds disgusting. I've actually seen it happen. I saw one time one person like kind of like coughed and spit like went a good 3 feet right into the person's lip. Like he's like, what the heck? And I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. And that was like right at the beginning of coronavirus. So people were like, we're good. San Bernardino was like, you don't have to wear face masks. Now you have to wear face masks. You don't have to wear face masks. You have to wear face masks. And I'm like, I'm just going to stay constant, man. I just don't want to get sick, period, end of story. And is it like a uncomfortable thing? Well, some of them are uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. And some of them are like, I'm getting a rash. I'm like, you had a year and a half to figure out the rash. Just use lotion. You know what I mean? Like, and there's some face masks that are like cloth related, and those I understand. And then some I was seeing how some say, when they're playing outside, it's hard to breathe. And I say, I agree with that. I agree with that. I've done things where it's like, okay, so I do recommend in outside sports, this is just me, then just don't wear it, But everywhere else, like you just said, when you're close to other people and they're like, doing this, and like pretty obvious, just put one on. It's not that hard. And the N95s are easy to breathe in. The other ones are not. And so I understand that. I think they need to kind of wear an N95 first, like a proper one or a KN95. Then you breathe really good. And you'd be surprised. They're really good filtrations, although it doesn't sound like it is. And there you go. So what are your stories? Are you sticking to it? I will say this. People are up in arms about it. They're protesting about it again. They're making our kids wear face masks. You know what? They're making your kids try not to get sick. That means, like, I just don't understand that. If I had a child, I'd be like, look, we're going to do this. It's uncomfortable. It's a little barrier. It's not 100% proof. These cloth masks that are like very like thin that people wear, almost guaranteed. Now, I did see a report yesterday, and I felt bad for this guy. He was like, I was so like with the conspiracy people that would say, oh, coronavirus isn't real. He says, so I finally got my vaccine, but it turns out he got it too late. And then he got really sick because he already had coronavirus. He ended up in the hospital 38 days, Jesse, and he thought he was going to die. Thankfully, they saved his life, but he has forever scarring in his lungs. And he was like, I didn't want to die. I didn't want to leave my daughter behind, right? His only daughter. And she's, full grown. She's like probably 18, 19, 20. And so he had a huge... which I think if people are going to watch the whole, don't wear face masks, it's all right, blah, 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 blah. It's your right to run a red light. I still don't want you on the road when I need to go, when it goes green. You know what I mean? It's your right, sure. But there are safety things there. Now, there are some people in some videos that I'm seeing people get like up in arms in the opposite. Like, if you don't wear a face mask, I'm going to punch you in the face. Or, I've seen, I think it was a school thing, and somebody didn't wear a face mask because they thought the California mandate kind of had been lifted, which it actually has, which I think is why we're going back in this weird moment. But in LA, the LA County, they're still requiring it, which I say in this way, it's better to have something to protect you rather than nothing at all. All right. Some people are okay going, and I saw one guy who goes, it's my choice, my body, my life. I'm like, you continually say that when you get into the hospital and you get this, because that's where you're going pretty soon. It's just like drivers that drive oddly on the road, and you almost know. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse, but do you ever get that person like kind of weaves in, weaves out, weaves in, weaves out, and almost like smacks you, and then you're like, what are the chances you're gonna get an accident in the next 3 to 4 months? You know what I mean?
Oh, no, no, no. I see that all the time on the freeway, and it makes me mad. And the vast majority of them are Teslas. I see you.
I have not seen Teslas do that. That's interesting. So that's the thing
No.
is Aberdeen on Riverside?
Yeah, I see Tesla
Okay.
going crazy over here. They're speeding along. It's like, good Lord, people. But it's not just Teslas. It's other cars as well.
All right.
Especially the ones that sound like, "Rrrr." Like,
All right.
okay, guys.
Yeah, I like what Rosalie on social media is saying, and Steffi says, I got my mask free for when I ran a 5K color run for cancer event. I'll say this. If somebody has cancer and they're trying to heal themselves through like chemo and all that, you better wear that dumb face mask. I don't care who you are, right? Like when you go to the doctors or the hospital, you want people to wear face masks. You do not want them. And again, I get the balance. It's not 100% proof. There's no one that ever has said that. But it helps you not breathe in other people's stuff. Okay, let's just put it that way. I just think people kind of, storming the castle, so to speak, is kind of ridiculous. Rosalie says, get the kids some cool superhero masks. I remember doing that for little, he was 7 at the time. He's now 9. And I remember doing that, and you can make it cool. There's some custom ones. It says, she says, I feel like Batman every time I forget my mask. Darn it, I forgot my mask there. I go back to the van and get it. I feel much more confident since I've gotten my black ones. I refuse to wear the white or blue ones. And I get that. It's called design, right? I get that. We've all kind of, done that. I do think the N95s need to go next level. And, actually they have. And I'm like, why did you get your N95 black one? That's kind of cool. Although I will say thieves are wearing those left and right because you can't identify them when they do these stealing escapades. But, you had to see that one coming. Judy Garcia Munoz says, good morning from watching from Burbank, Washington. I didn't even know Washington had a Burbank. We have Burbank here in California, which is known as the entertainment area. Yeah, I know, right? I was like, oh, Burbank, Washington. Okay, cool, that's cool. Stephanie Reed says, "Hello, happy editing. This glorious sunshine plus cold awesomeness. Busy day ahead for today." Yeah, we have some rain in the forecast, right, Jesse?
Yeah, I didn't even know it was in the forecast. I just happened to walk outside right now and to get something from my car, and I'm all like, wait, why is? Oh man, I did not expect this. It's a
Yeah.
little sprinkle, but it's supposed to be very, very windy today, so drive safe.
Speaking of not expect people,
Uh,
this is an interesting story that I will say. Oh, you know what? Let me read this really quick from Ellie Gonzalez before we get to that. She says, "Good morning, all. Tears of joy and happiness in my family. We are very grateful to our Father Jehovah's God. After 2 months in ICU for COVID, my cousin he finally woke up. Oh my goodness. Okay, see, thank you for that story. We appreciate this. This is a real to life social media comment in our social media chat room. She says his wife, she never gave up. She always refused to turn the artificial machine off. Ooh, wow. That's always one of those things that I'm not going to lie, Jesse. I'm always like, who is the person going to make the decision when you're incapacitated or in a coma, right? They're like, can you please just leave it on? She said she always kept faith and hope that he will wake up. I love her unconditional love story, her perseverance and patience. A great example for me and all. Sorry thank you for using it. Oh, it feels like family. She's talking about how we do this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish you many beautiful things for you and your family, all, especially for your, everybody. Okay, good. So that's good to hear because that's exactly what you hope will happen at the end of the day. And there are cases like this going on and on and on. So I'm almost like, to those that are protesting about a face mask, I say, have you buried anybody lately? And maybe they haven't. Maybe they've been able to skirt by and not get sick. But I've already buried I've gone to funerals where this has happened. This is the case. But okay, let's switch gears just a bit. Jesse, you have a story which I'm not gonna lie, kind of begs the question. And I know I'm gonna get reamed for this, but I really don't care. Does it matter at the end of the day? What happened with the Catholic priest in Arizona, Jesse?
so yeah, apparently pronouns matter. They do apparently in this reason because a Catholic priest in Arizona he resigned after discovering he was doing thousands of baptisms. I guess apparently wrong. So yeah, a priest in Arizona performed thousands of baptisms incorrectly by changing one word from I to we. So apparently he would go, "We baptize you in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit," but it's supposed to be "I baptize you." So apparently the Vatican or Catholic Church, I don't know who's in charge of what, but yeah, so they completely invalidated all of his baptisms for the past 20 years.
I don't
So
get that bad. I don't. First of all, I don't get nowhere in the Bible does it say, "Please say I." Where it did, again, it's not like baptisms always existed, right? Before John the Baptizer, right, as he affectionately got known as. I can see him going around going, "Hey, you need to get baptized. Hey, you need to get baptized. Hey, you need to get baptized," and then doing it and going, "Shoot, I forgot to say that word." Like, I mean, he had angel support, so I would go with the we on that. But I don't understand this, and again, this priest, which is based in Phoenix, Arizona, has realized that he had. I don't know who brought this to his awareness, right? That he had been incorrectly performing them for, again, 20 years, rendering the rite invalid for thousands of people. Well, that's not bad. He's only done thousands of people then. I thought, like, in 20 years you would do, like, hundreds of thousands of people, right?
see, that's my thing. If he did it, who else did it and not saying anything?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all like,
I but and look, I understand. I want to understand this. I don't though. But I guess, and this is according to priests, no one, including priests, may add, remove, or change anything in the liturgy on his own authority. Yeah, I get. Oh, all right, I get. Okay, so the correct wording, for those wondering, is we Okay, this is Reverend Andre Arango. I will say, Reverend, uh, it's a mistake. I mean, you guys do like all kinds of confessions and all that. And I mean, I've heard some pretty bad confessions, and I'm just saying they've got forgiven and everything. Just confess it. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure God's not like, I invalidate all those baptisms. How dare you? Like, I'm pretty sure the loving Father goes at the end of the day, hey, you know what? We save all. We don't desire any to be destroyed. But this, we baptize you in the name of the Father and of the Son and the Holy Spirit, when it's supposed to be I baptize, even the I kind of sounds a little erroneous. It's almost like, I baptize you. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like, and maybe I'm wrong for saying this. I know I'm going to get read by somebody that's Catholic, and I apologize for this. But how would that one word invalidate the whole mission? I mean, you don't even choose who baptizes you sometimes, right? Or do they? I don't really know. Like, I got baptized in a faith, but my point is this. People misspeak all the time. I just don't get it. So, I don't know. Maybe you guys have some statements out there. Maybe. I just don't understand. It says the official Diocese of Phoenix website said that Father Arango's one-word alteration means all baptisms he has performed until June 17, 2021 are presumed invalid. Are they trying to get more money? Because don't they, like, isn't there, like, a thing? There's a donation attached to this, I can guarantee you, on this. We got to redo. It's like, how many weddings probably got misquoted? You know what I mean? Everybody does vows. Is it supposed to be a one-word size fits all? I just don't understand this. In an open letter, I think they're making a big deal out of nothing. I'm not going to lie. I mean, maybe I'm wrong on this. What do you think, Jesse?
I have no idea. I'm not a Catholic, or I don't follow this faith or religion, but one word, it is, I don't see how it would make that big of a deal, but apparently to them it does. It's shocking.
I mean, it's the overall thing. What if he had, like, a bad, or maybe he hadn't, like, I don't know how to put this. Some people have an accent. It's kind of hard to understand them, right? Or a lisp, right?
Yeah, I don't think
to...
I do we.
What? Yeah, it's like, I baptize thee in the name of... I mean, at least he didn't go next level. I baptize thee in the dark spirit's name of, like, he didn't go that would have invalidated it for me. I'd be like, dude, go to the left. But I just don't understand this. Now, and I understand, remember we've seen videos where, like, priests, like kind of slap them or dunk them and, like, all do that. That would invalidate and infuriate me. You've seen videos like that where you go, what is the priest thinking? Are they on meds, or do they need to be on meds, right? Well, I've seen those. But this one I just don't understand. He wrote, it saddens me to learn. Oh, see, somebody brought it up. They're bringing up something that should have been brought up. It saddens me to learn that I have performed invalid baptisms throughout my ministry as a priest by regularly using an incorrect formula. I think he just wants to kind of retire. I think he's using this as a, you know what? I'm done. I need to go. I need to go just have fun at Disneyland. He said he added with the like, poor guy. He's not like, imagine all the people that get baptized and they'd be like, I hate you. Like, well, I guess I did invalidate that baptism. You should be loving like the Father. But I don't get it, Jesse.
I don't know, but all I have to say is, can they, like, speed through it, but, like, have everyone lined up, super soaker, in the name of the Father, and then baptize them all in one swoop?
Yeah, just look.
Does it work? Like, I don't know the process, so I'm just assuming.
There are worst case things like pedophiles and pedophilia that I want addressed. That's about it. This, I think, is something over nothing. I mean, we, blah, 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 it's not like he's the only one there, you know what I mean? I just don't get it. I don't get it, but whatever. And you know what, maybe, here's what my argument would be. I am in union with my Father, and we want to baptize ye. So, there you go. I don't really understand this, but there you go. Whoever makes a big deal of this, I think, is ridiculous. I think the Catholic faith should kind of reevaluate this and say, look, we get it. It doesn't invalidate. I think some letter to the law was a little too odd. That's exactly what Jesus had to fight with. Letter of the law, Pharisees, scribes, and Sadducees is what made them sad. You see? They just need to kind of let go of all that. I mean, there was this whole thing about the Sabbath and, you couldn't cure, you couldn't help people out. And Jesus was like, are you not listening to yourself? It's pretty easy. Like, would you help yourself out if your horse, which is worth a lot of money, fell into a hole? Would you let the horse out? And they'd be like, yeah. Well, then I'm just trying to help somebody out. Why are you making a big deal of nothing? We're going back to that.
Wait. What do you mean? I don't understand. Why can't you save your horse?
Oh, okay. Let me bring it back to a little bit. Okay. You know what? Let's take a quick break. I'll help you out with that, and then you'll understand what I'm saying in a minute. We'll be right back with more right after these messages.
New teen driver in the family? Just bought your first home? Have a new bundle of joy? Every life change matters, and by reviewing your insurance policy with Little & Sons Insurance Services, you could be benefiting with big savings. Little & Sons Insurance Services, a family-owned insurance agency who values the old-fashioned way of doing business. They work for you, not an insurance company, meaning your best interests are at heart. They can custom tailor your policy based on specific needs at a price you can afford. Home, auto, or business, you're covered. Call 1-844-9-LITTLE. That's 1-844-9-LITTLE, or go online to little, the letter N, sons.com. That's littlensons.com.
Hi, everyone. This is Bernadette, the host of One Life Radio, your #1 source for alternative and holistic health since 2011. One Life Radio is designed to educate and inspire. Visit us at oneliferadio.com. Because you get one body, you get one mind, and you get one life. Get out there today and make the most of it. Tune in weekdays at 1 p.m. on 1490 KMET Smart Talk, ABC News Radio.
The staff and families at Custom Care Solutions caregivers take this time out to recognize and salute the Palm Desert men and women in uniform, standing tall for our political and economic freedoms around the world. Let's always remember them in our thoughts and prayers. Their efforts abroad and our support have kept America strong. That message was courtesy of your good friends at Custom Care Solutions caregivers, 42201 Beacon Hill in Palm Desert. They're always working to keep our community moving in a positive direction.
Express Frame thanks our troops and veterans for everything they've done so fearlessly for us on a daily basis. Send letters or care packages and give blood. Also offer a veteran a job or discount on your local product. It'll be greatly appreciated. That's from Sue and Alex of Express Frame, your complete framing experts with a reputation that precedes them. For more information, call 760-773-9228. Veteran discounts available. That's Express Frame in Palm Desert, the area's best for your framing needs. And they're waving their flags high, saying USA all the way.
What is commitment and why is it so hard to achieve? The new book, Committed, by Dr. Carmen Hara and Alexandra Hara, will make you reevaluate the way you think about love. Committed is a relationship manual that unfolds in 2 parts: the work you need to perform on the inside and the 7 distinct archetypes you will encounter on the outside. Committed, a new book available on Amazon by Dr. Carmen Hara and Alexandra Hara, will help to find and keep the love you deserve. Committed, available now on Amazon.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM with Jesse Sanchez over there. And before we went to the break, we were talking about this article, which, again, I really think is a lot about nothing. At the end of the day, people got baptized. I get it. The word might have been a little misspoken. Poor guy obviously changed it from I to we. I get that. At the end of the day, did it try to do more good than bad? I'm pretty sure it did. I'm pretty sure there was no official saying when John the Baptizer baptized Jesus and said it in a certain way. Imagine him speaking to that, just going, wait, you invalidate everything? I died for nothing? I just don't get that. But, I get the reason people get baptized. I get the reason it demonstrates faith. I get the reason it helps you out with, starting brand new. People sometimes don't understand the role of baptism, the significance of, literally being dunked in the water and then what the life-saving water does to the body in symbolism of your dedication for life for that particular faith, right? People kind of let go of that, and they make it of the act of doing it, right? But my point is this. There are those that kind of act a little like back in the day of Jesus. Now imagine for a minute, all right? Just imagine for a minute that there is a situation where this poor elderly man needs to be helped out. Now, the Bible speaks about miracles all the time, right? They're really big moments of like whoa, right? And at the time, you have an elderly man who is not only sick, not only is he suffering, not only is he in pain, but he's poor, right? And so when Jesus is walking by, of course, with several others, he's on the road, and this man reaches out to him and says, "Are you he?" And Jesus, knowing how he feels, seeing him feel utterly helpless and utterly destroyed in spirit, says, "What is it you need?" And then the man says, I need faith. I need help. And then Jesus saying, "Your faith has made you well. Pick yourself up. Be healed." And then the man, who's 88, gets up, starts walking. His boils end up ceasing, and his pain goes away instantly. What would you do if you were next to that man who knew he had suffered for a good 30 years of a bad disease? Would you say, "What just happened?" Would you be wowed? Would you be amazed? Would you be, "Oh my goodness"? Now, these things happen again and again and again, and we've heard of these things, right? Thankfully, written down in the Bible, right? In the Greek scriptures. Many other miracles happen, again, in the Hebrew scriptures. Healing isn't an old thing that's talked about in the Bible. It's known as a miracle, right? Something we cannot understand as of yet. But in the days of the Pharisees and the Sadducees, boy, oh boy, did they make a big thing if he did it on the Sabbath. Now, the Sabbath is different to people's minds, but let's just take it as a broad meaning of like Sunday being the day, okay, the seventh day, right, the rest day, right? Some people would be the Saturday. In Jewish faith, it's actually Friday Eve to Saturday Eve, and the new calendar of the Jewish calendar start at sundown. So they didn't go like, they didn't have the hourly thing set up way back when, right, Jesse? So they didn't have like 12 a.m., 12 p.m. They just were like, okay, the new day starts at the end of sunset. That's the day one to the next sunset. Boom, there's your day, right? So at sundown, the Sabbath would begin. So oftentimes it was a day of reverence, right? Not just the evening up until the following day, but it was a day of reverence where you were supposed to, of course, be really loving, kind, and just thoughtful about, again, God, the faith, and everything. So work was minimized. So that is equivalent to our Sundays back in like the 40s, 50s, and 60s when Sundays, things were closed. Do you remember that before coronavirus?
No, things were open on Sunday.
No, not in the 50s. In the 40s, 50s, and 60s, you weren't alive during the 40s, 50s, 60s.
Oh, no, yeah, no, I'm talking about now. No, I wasn't alive back then. I don't even think my dad was born back then. But
yeah. And there's some stores that are very Christian faith that actually do close on Sundays for that reason. But in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, a lot of businesses were closed on Sundays. It was kind of a normal thing. Very rarely did you see 7-day work and or 7-day retail shops because people were closed on Sundays.
Is this why Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays?
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, man.
I know what you're saying, but I get it, trust me, because I'm like, man, because who doesn't want a little Chick-fil-A? But yes, okay, so they kind of go back to the day of rest, all right, moment, and whatever you want to call it, it was a very big thing in Jewish culture of Jesus' day. Again, hello, he was Jewish, duh. So he understood the reason for the Sabbath, but other people poked at it in a way that made it as though, how dare he help a man get unsick for the rest of his life. So the way he had to actually kind of bring it full circle was like, okay, question. If you had a horse, some would say a mule, or a donkey, fall into a well, would you not help it out?
Yeah, of course.
That's pretty much what they said. Well, so he said, how much more should you help your brother out when they need help? In other words, oh, you'll do that for your livestock, but you won't do that for a human being. In other words, you're making a lot about nothing. And here's the reason people don't understand why the Pharisees and Sadducees and all the scribes and Pharisees actually made a lot of problems for the faith. They heaped on burdens upon burdens upon burdens and burdens of laws and statutes and limitations, saying, if you did this, you were a faithless person. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to offer this sacrifice. You have to offer that sacrifice. This, that, blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows when Jesus overturned the tables because they were making a profit on the people, whether they be poor, middle-aged, and or rich. Okay, so he got upset. Rightly so. He's like, you are invalidating the faith, right, of the time. So what people don't understand is it's happening again. They're pointing out the dumbest thing about the biggest thing, and it just doesn't make sense. Now, at the end of the day, are you going to be that Pharisee or Sadducee or other that makes it about nothing? Now, and let me give you an idea of how stupid these laws became in Jesus' day. If you had a mosquito, Jesse, because again, let me go back to the law in the Bible doesn't state anything about these things. All it says is the day of rest. On the seventh day he rested, right? And so the seventh day was viewed as a very holy day to bring your mind back to kind of center and kind of go, okay, Father, this is your day, right? So many went into the synagogue. They would be with their families. It was a day of rest for people to also have in their mind, look at all that God has done for us, right? And don't we all enjoy a day of rest? So the point is, it was a day of reverence for the Father to kind of, relax, enjoy. But they put so many laws and so many restrictions that there is proof, and you can look it up, it's very interesting. They actually did, and this is the weirdest thing, to where you could only wear certain types of shoes. Because if you wore too heavy of a shoe, that would be considered working on the Sabbath. So now you would have to pay the price. So if your shoe was 8 kilograms over one sandal of kilogram, those are too heavy. You can't. Yeah, you're picking up those feet. That's considered work. Okay, that's how dumb it would get. Then there was another one. I kid you not. I remember looking at the laws that they had. If a mosquito was getting on your skin, Jesse, what would be the first instinct to do with that mosquito?
The mosquito will be sent to the afterlife. Oh my God, am I going to get in trouble for smacking it?
Yes, if you were of the Jewish faith and you got ruled by the Pharisees, Sadducees, and the dumb scribes of faith, if you smacked it, that would be considered, work. So now you were invalidated by their view. If they caught you doing that, Joey, oh man, boy, is God gonna smite thee. Boy, oh boy, you're gonna have to do some work to get that. Because they were basically making it like people be lazy all day long. And if you do anything, but here's the thing, secretly in their doors, they were all doing all kinds of stuff. People think the Pharisees and the Sadducees were all good people. They were good people. They were the kind that lorded it over the common people, which is why, Jesus was put to death. The Pharisees and the Sadducees ganged up because, the people wanted to be cured. The people wanted to be healed. The people wanted to not longer suffer, and they wanted to make sense of, the things that were supposed to make sense. They were invalidating everything that Jesus would say, and they would always try to catch him in what they would say. See, he blasphemes. See, he misspeaks truth. See. When in reality, he was doing the biggest thing nobody could do at the time. Help cure people. Help rid people of demons. Help rid people of things that, sickness, demons, whatever you want to put it. The point is, the guy is dead. Why are you hurting him with more stuff of I versus we? It's just stupid. At least they bring people, hopefully, to the Father in a way, you know. So look. My point is this: we're going back to the days of he, and it's just not what we need to do. Let's see. Patricia Slaughter says church was the center of community society that controlled much of what society was about and what was allowed. It was not until the printing press that the people had access to the truth of Scripture for their own interpretation. That was the beginning of the end of the power of the church that they had over the people. And you know, it's actually true. It's actually true because a lot of, which is why they actually try to remove church versus state. Because the church has had too much power over people by saying, no, this is what the Bible says. This is what the Father says. This is. When people got educated to be able to read it for themselves, they go, it never says that. It's very simple. Then they try to invalidate going, well, you know what? Not all. You know what? Look, we go to church. We get, and then they get their, you know, years of theology and they know more, when in reality any common person is meant to understand it. That's why it was written down for the common man. That's why it's supposed to be read aloud. That's why it helps when you read these stories of faith. It's why when you actually relate it to archaeology and other people and other things, you go, oh, these things really did exist. Babylon was a real place. Oh, Cyrus was a real place. Oh, Macedonia was a real place. Oh, Laodicea was a real place. Oh, I get it. People are people, just like now. But people are poking at the wrong things when it comes to faith. Be happy they are being faith-bound, right? And you know what? And it's true. Somebody said in social media, you know, they were baptized as a baby and forever would be that faith. When in reality, we all have a choice, right? Some people want to have no faith. Some people want to have a faith. Some people want to change their faith. Okay. At the end of the day, do you really think the Father, and of course, the one whom he sent forth, really we're going to be so dogmatic? Boy, oh boy, if I'm going to give my life on at the end of the day for these ungrateful people, I invalidate all of you. But no, it says it. It's very simple. He gave up his life as a sacrifice to all. That's why we don't have to give sacrifices anymore. That's why, thank God, we're not under Jewish culture where we have to give up sacrifices of lamb, of birds, of pigeon, of all these things that they used to have to do in Jewish culture. He gave up his life for one time for all, that all men may be saved, either good, bad, and or suffering, that they might have a chance to live forever. Yeah, look up Revelation 21. All right, people, I'm going to take a quick little break, but seriously, do not invalidate the good that's being done out there. That's what they were doing at the end of the day. They were invalidating him, saying, how dare you do it on the Sabbath? He's like, what, should I wait till the next day to help cure somebody? I might be in Macedonia next week. Come on, people. Anyway, we're going to take a quick little break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions is now Beaumont Pharmacy with a new location at the Sundance Corporate Center. That's at the corner of Highland Springs and 8th in Suite 110. Of course, they still have Pack Your Meds. No more counting out the pills, dropping them on the floor. Oh, what a mess. And they have a full selection of pharmaceutical CBD. Wheelchairs, over-the-counter meds, you name it, they've got it. So if you're looking for the best and you want the best pharmacy, you go to Beaumont Pharmacy at their new location, 835 North Highland Springs, Beaumont Avenue in Beaumont, California, Suite 110. Give them a call, 951-845-8252.
KMET AM 1490 presents Cal State San Bernardino basketball. This Thursday night, February 17th at 7:30, the Coyotes meet Sonoma State in a CCAA conference game. Live from Casulas Arena in San Bernardino. I'm Mitch McClellan. Join me as the Coyotes meet the Seawolves. Coyote basketball broadcasts are brought to you by Dignity Health, Hatfield Buick GMC, Raising Cane's, Penny Law, and the Hyatt Place Hotel, Ontario Mills. That's Cal State San Bernardino basketball action live from San Bernardino this Thursday night at 7:30 on your exclusive exclusive radio home for Coyote basketball, KMET AM 1490. Standard time is here. That means shorter days and cooler nights that make you want to stay inside. Don't get caught in the cold. Franklin Mechanical Systems can do a preventative maintenance check on your heating unit to get it working right. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems, for all your residential and commercial heating and air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 951-845-1000. That's 951-845-1000, and stay warm today.
Join Yvette Walker every Tuesday at 4 o'clock p.m. on KMET ABC News Radio, 1490 AM, FM 98.1, and Internet KMET TV for the Southern California Business Report. The show is dedicated to highlighting successful businesses and the individuals behind them. Yvette interviews the incredible people managing these enterprises that range from awe-inspiring sole proprietors to world-renowned organizations. The Southern California Business Report, Tuesdays at 4 o'clock p.m.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you. Rosalie Huerta says this: my daughter had an interview once, and one of the questions they asked her was, how old was Jesus when he died? This was at a pet store in Ohio. She knew because it taught her from infancy. She was a little sarcastic. She said billions of years old spiritually, but earthly only 33. You know what? I love your daughters. They're so cute. Let's see. The owner was impressed, but we could never figure out what that had to do with the pet store. It's like, there are some people that just make a lot about nothing. It's like, seriously, it's the dumbest thing since sliced bread. But I love that answer. Billions of years old spiritually. Because you didn't have a pre-human existence. That's what the Bible says, right? In the beginning, the word was. All right. Anyway, look, however you view it, just remember, focus on the bigger thing. That is what he preached. That is the stuff that he helped to teach, and he really did speak at a time where more people were suffering, more people were upset. That's why it says they were like sheep without a shepherd. They were thrown about, skinned alive, because they were being mistreated by the faith of the time. Not all. I mean, we all know the Apostle Paul was one of them that kind of put a lot of people to death. A lot of people don't remember that, but before he became seeing and Jesus saying, "Why are you persecuting me?" Again, you just got to be careful out there, but you got to remember, again, there are some things that kind of get crept, into certain faiths. So you go, why are we making a big deal of this? When in reality, it's kind of the bigger thing of all. Hey, at the end of the day, are you saved by God? Did they invalidate all saving of God? And I would even venture to say this: baptism is not the thing to save people. At the end of the day, right? It's helping you align yourself with the faith, but it's not the thing that saves you. I mean, it's not like baptism lasted beyond the generations of the very first, ever. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like, if you didn't get baptized, Noah was like, I can't be saved. He got the biggest baptism of all. Deluge. You know what I mean? So, yeah, look, my point is this. I think they're getting kind of a little too much on this. I think they just need to let it go. And I think they just need to say, you know what? Okay, we misspeak sometimes. I could understand the whole Catholic faith is like, wait, did we say we when it was, I thought I was told we. Didn't you train me it was we? It's I. I didn't know that. Did you know that? No, I didn't know that. I'm not going to lie. I think, the priest from 3 blocks down, I think he trained me, and I think we just used to say we. Imagine, Jesse, everybody's going to be like, I've been using we this whole time. He's not the only one. What happens then, Jesse?
Right? That's what I'm saying. This is like, if he did it, how many more have been doing it? So it's just like, are all those invalidated as well? And if that's the case, I'm glad I'm not a religious person, because this would make me mad. This would make me so mad. I'd be like, what? It's
just look, it's like, I can imagine like weddings all of a sudden, because the vows were, again, the vows are sacred, right? Not everybody does vows, but there's a way to do it. It's I've sometimes heard different ones change. I've seen different faiths or non-denominational ones, married couples, could they say like, oh shoot, I misspoke it. Your whole marriage is invalid. No, it doesn't work that way. So it's look, it's a symbolism of faith for those that want to be in a particular faith, and I understand that. It's too much to the letter of the law, of whose law. It's not even in the Bible that way. Did you know that? It says baptizing in the name of, and that's different depending on which translation you read. So some use Holy Ghost, some say Holy Spirit, some are like, I do not want a ghost around me, so some people don't understand it, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the, whichever way you ascribe to. So at the end of the day, look, it's the symbolism of the water. And, different people baptize differently. Some just drizzle a little bit of water. Jesus kind of submerged himself as he did. But, look, at the end of the day, more power to you. More power to you. All right, a lot of things happening in the world, and we're watching this kind of closely. Russia and Ukraine, which it's not a bad thing. They've been talking about kind of hopefully backing off. And although the United States is warning that Russia could invade Ukraine, which we've been saying that for quite some time because they were on the border, it looks like Putin might have given some cause for hope, and I'm glad he is, because this is a good step in the right direction. Is it an easy step? No, but is it the right step? Yes. Let's not advance to war if we can choose not to do so, right? Because sometimes I think some people, including, some people that kind of surround themselves in the military and or advisors, kind of want war more than anything. But I'd be like, well, then you go on the front line if you want war. And then they'd be like, you know what? We need peace. Because this is not the time to go to war, all right? It just isn't. Everybody's cold. They're suffering in the Ukraine and Russian states. You need to focus on no more coronavirus. You haven't gotten ahead of that. This is not the time to go to war, okay? But for those just tuning in, again, Russia, and I mentioned this to a couple of people. They're like, what? Ukraine's about to go to war? I go, yeah, Russia's right on the border. And then some are like, wait, what? But Russian President Vladimir Putin commented on what he called Russia's partial withdrawal of troops near Ukraine today, one day after Pentagon officials said Russia had sent even more troops to the border region over the last 24 to 48 hours. Putin delivered mixed messages at a press conference in Moscow, suggesting he does not consider the crisis to be resolved, as Russia's key demand that Ukraine is barred from joining NATO has not been met. But he said there were items in the U.S. responses to discuss, specifically noting Russia is ready to talk about the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, which the Trump administration withdrew from, among other military confidence building measures. Putin said, we want to resolve this question right now in the nearest future in the course of the negotiating process with peaceful means. Asked about some Russian troops pulling back on Tuesday, he hinted there could still be room for escalation. Yeah, because he's not backing off 100%. But added, we will strive to agree on the issues which have been put forward by us using the diplomatic path. So the question is, how will Russia act next? It really does fall into Russia's hands right now. If Russia advances and or brings more military, then it is seen as, oh boy, where are we going with this? If he does pull back slowly, then it's a good thing. He just needs to pull back another third of his army in the next 3 weeks to show, okay, we are in good faith, kind of just withdrawing for right now. And they may not want to call it withdrawing, but with withdrawing, we're not going to have our people be put to war. So that would be the way to proceed with this. It's a little out of time. You don't want to be seen as weak. Putin is anything but weak. Russia is anything but weak. You want to do it in a way that makes sense for the people. And you say, okay, we're going to start looking at the diplomatic approach, and we're going to make some necessary adjustments, and we're going to talk about these things because we need to be on this world together. Seriously, sometimes I wonder, does it take an invasion of alien species to unite the whole world? What is it, Jesse?
No, it kind of reminds me of the movie, what was it? Watchmen. Do you remember that?
Remind me.
So in the movie Watchmen, the world is, on the brink of nuclear, like every person's going to bomb each other. US, Russia, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So one of the heroes figured a way to make them stop, was to give them a villain to team up against. Because if they're too busy fighting somebody else, they're too busy fighting each other.
Oh. Watchmen, that was the one that they put into an HBO thing, right?
Did they?
Yeah, they have like a series now of that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I might have to give it a watch. But yeah, this is from the movie.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that part. I just remember the guy with the what was it with the eyes that were white? He was like the nuclear guy. Like he was all energy.
Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, but then they showed his junk, and I was like, I'm so over that right now. Where's some underwear, man? Do the Superman thing. Why are you showing your junk? But maybe it burned off. I don't really know. Yeah. So this is a real thing, and you're not wrong. It's almost like, what will unite the people, but don't be the country that has to unite the people. Does that make sense? Don't be that guy. You know what I mean? So I will give Putin some credit here for having negotiations. And I said this recently. I said, look, this is hope that at least he's talking. If Putin was not on the forefront talking with any of the leaders or any of NATO or any of the UN or any of anyone, then, well, we would be pretty much close to war. Because when you have Russia as a nuclear arsenal country go to war, I just say, well, you might as well just love your people, kiss your people, and just say, you know what, I don't know how much time we have on this world, but boy, once nuclear war starts, we don't want that. So I really do hope they kind of say, okay, and nobody advances in a weird way, and nobody shoots, and the people of Ukraine be saved. Recently, I had a conversation about Afghanistan, and somebody was under the, I'll say this, kind of the news that the Taliban were more good than bad, and I'm like, no, Jesse. If you saw the people that are suffering, kids are starving to death. They look like, remember when they used to have shows on like these kids that were like skeleton looking, so malnourished and ready to die? That's what's happening now in Afghanistan, Jesse.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I'm pretty sure that is happening. Yeah.
And I said this. I said, why would you? Oh, and now I saw a report, Jesse. The Taliban have all of the U.S. Tanks and gear and stuff, so they're dressed up as the U.S. Army. And
of course they are.
Yeah, because they called it the Spoils of War, even though it wasn't the Spoils of War, because there was no war. The U.S. fled, leaving all their stuff behind. So they have all the gear from the U.S. So now they're reassessing, and they're making sure everybody is now learning how to use the arsenal. So they're going to have that for quite some time. And they're going to make themselves look like Almighty Supreme, which is why I said, why did you pull out? You should have just struck when you had the chance. The Taliban did nothing good for the U.S. when they helped organize the 9/11 attacks. Period. End of story. Okay, yeah, we might have gotten one of the 10 people that were responsible called Osama bin Laden, but he was only one of well, some say 8, whatever. I think 8 to 10 or 12, whatever. But my point is this. There's always the ones that don't want to show their face, right? But my point is this. We are at the brink of, well, whatever that is. Just make sure you're safe. Wear a face mask, man. Live to see it. Don't die early. Seriously, people. We're out of time. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. Live it well.